This training, you'll be pleased to know, is we're going to be exploring the excellent assured sales strategies that we're going to be covering in the Leadership Evolves 5-day event coming up. This is mastery at a whole other level in regard to sales and marketing. And what we're going to be covering, part of what we're going to be covering, is the 7 secrets of sales mastery. So this training is based primarily on NLP, Master Practitioner Training. And there are many people attending this training that would say, well, how does this apply to business? Well, some people through working with NLP have found that it wasn't easy to take all those skills on board from NLP, but they do know exactly, step by step, how to apply them. And it's particularly so in the sales and marketing area. If they didn't have a huge amount of experience in that area, that's okay. That's okay too, because as a result of this particular training with NLP, this particular series is normally delivered, by the way, over the Leadership Evolves is over a five-day event, of which one of the days is in relation to sales, and the other day is in relation to negotiation. So, what I'd like to do. Before I go into the training, this is only a brief intro, of course, of what this is about. But what I'd like to do is I want to share with you a story. And the story is about a man who had a parrot. And this man, this parrot, was an amazing creature because it actually was able to communicate. And this man listened intently to his holy teacher. He used to go every day and he would spend some time with his holy teacher. And so when he listened intently to what was being shared, he learned so much, and yet he never actually got around to putting it into practice, what he'd learned during the lessons. And this man had a parrot, clever bird, and this bird had developed an ability to communicate. So the parrot asked the man where he went every day. And the man replied that he went to lessons because he wanted to learn more and discover how to free himself. Now, the parrot was a curious bird, and he said to the man, I'd like you to ask your holy teacher a question for me. He said, yeah, sure. He said, ask him, how can I find my freedom? So off the man went. He said, yeah, sure. Off the man went, and he went to his teachings for the day. And so he asked the holy teacher. Immediately after he asked him, the holy teacher passed out. And the man was surprised. And the onlookers accused the man of causing the holy teacher to be unconscious. And they told the man to leave there and then. When the man arrived back home, he recounted these events to the parrot. The very next morning, the man found the parrot lying perfectly still in his cage. So the man assumed that the parrot had died and opened the cage to take him out. So we'll finish that story later on. What I'd like to introduce you to here very, very briefly is a look at the 5-step sales process of sales champions. There are vital principles here that I'd like you to learn and understand. There are different ways of thinking that you as a sales champion should adopt if you want to get the best results that you can, and of course the best results that you actually deserve. So the first one there is establishing rapport. This I'm going to unpack for you in some detail at the 5-day event. So establishing rapport, asking questions, find a need from the client or the customer or the prospect, link the need or value to the product or service, and close. Now, if you've been to sales training before, you say, yeah, Evelyn, yeah, I understand that, I get it, I know that. What I'd like you to ask to say to yourself is this. Instead of saying, yeah, Evelyn, I know that, I heard all that before. Think of it this way. This is not your everyday sales training. This is training based on NLP and working with the mind. It's working with conversational hypnosis. So instead of saying, I know that, I get it, what I want you to ask yourself instead is this: what else can I learn? And when you ask yourself, what else can I learn? For example, let's go to rapport. So you may think that you have the best, let's say you're in real estate. And let's say you have a lot of properties on the market for sale. In fact, you have the best properties on the market, and you deliver, you believe, the best service that's out there, the best training you give your staff, and you've got the best marketing. But all of that really is rendered useless unless you have rapport with your client. If the prospect has a need, the means and the timing is right, then listing will go to the person, to the real estate agent that has the most rapport. It's really that simple. So rapport is a process that allows you to communicate with your client's unconscious mind. When you get to know how to work with the unconscious mind and how the unconscious mind works, people become clay in your hands. It allows you to work each piece of art to the finest degree. So rapport is a state whereby the client is less critical. They less critically accept your suggestions, the suggestions you're given to them in the unconscious mind. And what happens is when people are like each other, they like each other. So what we're doing, working with the unconscious mind, we're giving the perception that we are like that other individual. We're going to cover some more of that at the event coming up later on this year. Another thing we're going to be discussing at the event is the 6 empowering beliefs of a sales champion. Now, there are 6 beliefs there, and I'm not going to go into great detail right here now because we don't have the time. But just very, very briefly, this is, of course, based on NLP and sales mastery. And model, respect, meaning, feedback, rapport, and flexibility. Well, what does it all mean? Very quickly. Model, because everyone, every client, every prospect has their own unique model or map of the world. They've got their own beliefs in their own mind, their own value system. So no two people are alike. And it's a matter of understanding the language they speak. Now, it may all be in English, okay? If you speak English and you deal with your customers in English, but the language that they use is different. Each individual has a different language, and what we want to do is crack the code for understanding their map of the world, where they are coming from. Respect then is you need to respect your prospects and your clients, respect their model of the world, their map of the world. Because when you communicate within their map of the world is your oyster. What often salespeople do is they communicate in their own style. That's not what you do to be a sales champion. The sales champion works and communicates from the perspective of the client's map of the world. Meaning, what is meaning? What does it mean? Because meaning of your communication is a response that you get. If you are not closing the deals the way you want to close them, it's because you're not getting the message across effectively. People will keep saying no, and they'll keep firing questions at you because you haven't convinced them. So if you're getting back no, then you're not communicating at the level that your client expects you to communicate at. Feedback. In NLP, we say there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. And everything that happens is information. So do you take the information and you throw it away? Or do you take the information and do you analyze it? And what I'm saying when I say analyze, I'm talking about you need to analyze what goes wrong and also what goes right. So feedback is really, really important. If people are giving you feedback and you're not doing very much with it, you're not going to be very successful. You're not the kind of person that's going to be a sales champion. So rapport, because resistance in a client is a sign of a lack of rapport. And it's one of the most influential skills that you can learn. We do that in great detail at Leadership Evolves. Ultimately, flexibility. Because there are no resistant clients, guys. There's only inflexible salespeople. Being flexible puts you in the driver's seat. So the person with the most flexibility wins. And this is what you're going to learn when you join us at Leadership Evolves.